Let's forget the oily overhauls and the smell of diesel for now. Somewhere in the muddy testing ground of the English countryside, a silent hunter is waiting in the wings. It doesn't roar, it doesn't chug, and it certainly doesn't leak oil like its ancestors. This is the Defender Sport EV, the 800-volt, pint-sized rebel that is about to prove to the whole world that the best off-roader doesn't need an exhaust pipe to be a real legend. For 70 years, the nature of Land Rover has been about the sound of gears and lockers working in harmony. But the green oval is taking a multi-billion-dollar gamble that the essence of adventure can also be electric. It's not just another SUV. It's a mission to get the Defender badge into a future that is cleaner, quieter, and quicker than ever before. Today, we're peeling back the camouflage to expose the secrets of the Defender Sport, the compact electric monster that will tame both the Rubicon Trail and the city streets with equal composure. But before we get into the face-melting torque of electric motors, we have to talk about what this car actually is. This is not just a downsized 110. It's being discussed internally as the Defender 80, a nod to the wheelbase naming convention that has been in place for decades. Think of this new car as the spiritual successor to the legendary Freelander, or a more rugged, boxy replacement for the aging Discovery Sport. Land Rover's logic is simple. The full-size Defender has been a massive global hit, moving over 114,000 units in 2024 alone. By applying that iconic name to a smaller, more affordable package, they're opening the gates to a whole new tribe of explorers. Expected to measure around 180 inches long, roughly the size of a two-door Defender 90, but nearly 20 inches shorter than the four-door 110. This baby SUV is designed to be city-friendly without losing its heritage. It's lower riding and more urban-focused, but make no mistake, it still looks like it could eat a curb for breakfast. Now let's talk about the hardware, because this is where things get controversial. Unlike the big Defender, which uses the D7 platform, the baby Defender will ride on JLR's brand new EMA platform, short for Electric Modular Architecture. This is a massive shift. The EMA is an 800-volt beast designed primarily for pure electric power. We're talking about in-house built motors and next-generation batteries sourced from Tata's massive new plant in Somerset, UK. While Land Rover hasn't released the final horsepower figures, the 800-volt architecture confirms one thing: speed. Not just on the road, but at the charger. The baby Defender is expected to support 350 kilowatt fast charging. That means you could potentially go from nearly empty battery to ready to rip in about 30 minutes. Perfect for a quick coffee break before heading back into the woods. While the base models will likely feature a single motor setup to keep costs down, the high-end versions are expected to sport a dual-motor all-wheel drive configuration that delivers the instant low-end torque off-roaders dream of. The physics of ruggedness. One of the biggest fears with electric SUVs is that they'll lose their go-anywhere soul. Land Rover's engineers are fighting that narrative with a box-first philosophy. Spy shots have revealed a body shape that is unreservedly vertical. What we have here are narrow, rectangular headlights that are integrated seamlessly into the bodywork, and taillights that are positioned astonishingly low, giving it a stance that is remarkably similar to a baby Mercedes G-Class. But it's not just about looks. By using a dedicated EV platform, Land Rover can push the wheels to the absolute corners, maximizing the wheelbase for cabin space while keeping the overhang short. This is crucial for maintaining those generous approach and departure angles that define a Defender. Even though it's moving away from traditional body-on-frame construction toward a more urban usable setup, JLR is aiming for a vehicle that feels on rails in the city, but won't shy away from a muddy trail. Perhaps the most interesting challenge is the experience. How do you make an electric car feel like a true Land Rover? For most adventurers, the appeal of an EV is not just about the environment, but the quietness. Think about exploring a forest with just the sound of tires crunching on dry leaves, allowing you to get closer to wildlife than ever before. However, Land Rover knows their audience loves a mechanical feel. While they haven't confirmed a soundtrack system like other brands, they are, in fact, focusing on torque-rich delivery. In an EV, you get maximum torque at 0 RPM. For off-roading, that's a real superpower. It means you can inch over rocks with surgical precision without the need for a complex, low-range transfer case or a slipping clutch. And for those who aren't ready to go full EV just yet, there's a twist. Although the EMA platform was designed just for EVs, JLR recently hinted they might scale back their electric-only plans to include plug-in hybrid powertrains to meet surprising market demand, the $60,000 battleground. This is where the rubber meets the road. The baby Defender isn't just a tech showcase, it's a volume play. We would expect the starting price to be in the region of $60,000. In this respect, Land Rover is throwing a punch directly at the Ford Bronco and the Jeep Wrangler. However, if you move into the more expensive SE and HSE models, which could cost as much as $80,000, you are suddenly in the same market as luxury electric SUVs, such as the Audi Q8 e-tron and the Mercedes EQS. It's a bold move. They're trying to capture the heritage experience of the Defender, but in a package that is more accessible, easier to park, and zero emission. Production is slated to begin at JLR's Halewood plant, which is currently undergoing a $500 million upgrade to become an EV powerhouse. We expect the global debut sometime in 2027. The Defender Sport EV marks the start of a new, electrified chapter for the green oval. Land Rover has been dipping its toes in the water with the P400e plug-in hybrid, but the Sport, or 80, is the real test. The technical evidence suggests they're building a compact monster, 800-volt charging, iconic boxy styling, and enough ground clearance to satisfy the purists. But the question remains, will the world's most loyal off-road enthusiasts buy into a Defender that plugs into a wall? Can a city-friendly Land Rover truly carry the torch of the most rugged vehicle on Earth? We'll find out over the next 2 years. What do you think? Is this a masterpiece in the making, or is the Defender name getting spread too thin? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of the 4x4, hit that subscribe button to stay updated on the future of speed and mud. Stay curious, drive with passion, and I'll see you in the next one.